So our next presenter, we're really excited to have him. He was born and raised in Edmonton. He graduated with 2 degrees from the University of Alberta back in 2011. And one of them was in pharmacy, and he's a pharmacist in Calgary. He loves the mountains. He loves to travel. He's very passionate as well about real estate, which is where his focus is in terms of buy and hold of new build properties. He has several in the south and west part of Edmonton. His company and his podcast is Commonwealth Home Ownership, and he's also writing a book this year, so perhaps he'll talk about that. Please welcome Phil Wong.
Hey everyone, thank you for the intro, Devin. I really appreciate that. Hey everyone. So today I just want to talk about 5 actionable steps that I'm taking to real estate investing success in 2021. So I'm not a huge fan. First of all, I would say I'm not a huge fan of New Year's resolutions. I feel if you're gonna do something, you should just do it and not wait till the new year. But I think it's a good reminder for us to kind of step back and look at our goals that we've set and kind of act as a little anchor point in terms of how things have gone over the past year. So in terms of goals I like to set 3 areas of my life where I like to focus on. I like to, a professional or financial goal, health goal, and a creative goal typically. So a lot of questions like that I like to ask myself is, 2020 was huge. It was a huge shift in how we operated, and whatever direction you were making towards your goals at the beginning of 2020 probably took a dramatic shift as things went along. So some of us did better than others, some of us did worse, but either way, there's a new normal now. And I think it's a good time to see so it's good to ask yourself, how has things changed over the past year? So how you plan to achieve your goals, has that changed? And can you continue with your old model, or do you have to shift and adapt with the new times? So, sorry, I'm just reading off some notes here. For example, for Commonwealth Home Ownership, with last year, my goal with Commonwealth Home Ownership is to create a education system, education source for investors, people who want to learn a little bit more about investing, finance, to really bridge that gap in the education system, to teach more people how to invest in real estate, how to achieve financial freedom. So last year, I created a website, a podcast, which James has been a guest on, and just to teach people how to get into real estate investing. And we built this awesome calculator, all the stuff on our website, and we were charging for it last year because I was thinking that would be a good way to kind of create revenue. But then I was looking back at our mission, for example, this back in January earlier this year, looking at our mission, and my mission was to create a value for people and to really just teach people how to invest. So as a result, I decided to make everything on the website free, because I think that's the best way to bring value to as many people as I can. And then I decided to write a book as well. It's actually out. It's called Real Estate Side Hustle for Investors. It's really just to get people how to get them started in real estate investing, with every chapter with actionable steps. I think that's also another huge thing, is to take action. So first actionable step for me is to recalibrate my goals, which is what I did this year with Commonwealth. So take a look at everything that you've done. What can you change? What can you keep? And step back, and how can you, make better steps towards achieving your goals this year. Second, as James alluded to, there might be a lot of opportunities this year, depending on how the government reacts with COVID. The CRB payments are ending in April of this year. And depending on how the government reacts, depending on how COVID pans out, how many people we get vaccinated by that point, there might be some opportunities coming up in 2021. So I think it's a good time to get educated on alternate investing strategies, a little bit something outside of the traditional buy and hold space of real estate. So agreement for sales, fix and flips, rent to owns, those are all good areas to look into. Especially for agreement for sales. If you guys don't know about it, I think it's something to read into. It's an old style buying real estate where you can get into something with relatively low money down, almost like a vendor take back or a seller financing. So it might be a good way to help other people who are in a tough spot as well. So it could be a win-win for everyone. So just by broadening your skill set, you're more able to take advantage of opportunities that come across your way. A quote I really love is, "Luck is when preparation meets opportunity." So the more better prepared you are, the luckier you are. So number 2, get educated in alternate investing strategies. Step number 3, as James mentioned earlier, it's a great time to refinance your properties. So mortgage rates are at an all-time low. So if you haven't been able to get a good cash flowing property in the past, if anything is struggling at this point, it's a good time to look at going back to your banks and see if you can refinance and re-extend your amortization, get a lower interest rate, hopefully get that property cash flowing for the next 5 years. Even if you have to pay a bit of a penalty, do the math. Ask your bank how much it's going to cost you to refinance. If you make more than you lose over the next 5 years, it's definitely something to consider. And for those of you who want a little bit more of an update on mortgages, we actually started a new episode every other Monday with Kim Nguyen. She's a mortgage broker out here in Calgary. So we do a mortgage update every couple of weeks to get a bit more idea on how the mortgage industry is going. That we just released our last episode on Monday, actually. Number 4, get ahead of rents if you can. Rents are kind of weird now. I feel like there's more money, there's more people, there's more rental demand in the market because a lot of people haven't been able to buy. But at the same time, a lot of people don't have money, so rents are actually going down. So it's a weird time in the market right now. But I think, for those really good tenants that you have, I think it's super important to keep them. So get ahead of the markets, do a little bit of research on how the rental numbers are doing in your area, in your particular neighborhood, especially where your rentals are going. And yeah, get ahead of the rents, because if they start looking and they see cheaper rents elsewhere, they're going to start to move. However, what I like to do is I like to get in touch with the tenants, the really good ones who I want to keep, a few months ahead of time, 3 months ahead of time, typically, and ask if they want to renew. This is a good way because once they start looking, they might start thinking about moving. But 3 months is enough time that if you can catch them before they start looking and you can lock them into another lease for another year, then you might be in good shape, especially if rents are going down in your area and you still want to kind of maintain good rents in your property. So what I've done in the past is approach them 3 months ahead of time with lease and $500 in cash or something along those lines. Well, the last one, I had a really good tenant that I really wanted to keep. Rents are about $200 above rent at the time. So I approached her with $500 in cash and a new lease contract. Everything stayed the same. And I asked, if you sign today, these $500 is yours. It's really hard to resist $500 of cash in hand to sign up just for a signature. So something to think about down the road. And lastly, 2020 has been a tough year for a lot of people in terms of connecting with others, just because with COVID, all these restrictions, and it's caused a lot of loneliness in a lot of people, and it's really changed how we connect in a lot of ways. Like, before this, you could just go to a real estate event, walk into the room, and just hit up a conversation, hit off with someone, and it'd just be easy. But now it's a lot more difficult. Now you have to make a lot more effort to try to connect, make the one-on-one connection, and it loses a lot of that serendipity that makes networking and connect with others, so much fun, I guess. So I think my number 5, my 5th step to real estate investing, or to make this year a successful year for me, is to make more of a concentrated, concerted effort to reach out to others. Just to, even if it's not business related or whatever it is, just to reach out to others, reestablish those connections with family, with friends, with acquaintances, with business contacts, just because human connection is a big thing. We are social creatures, and we're not meant to interact like this. And that being in person, that the intimate one-on-one connection, I think, is something that we really should nurture this year while COVID is still a problem, at least until everyone gets vaccinated by the next year. I'm really looking forward to doing these events in person next year and really getting to meet some of you and talk to some of you. So to summarize, number 1, recalibrate your goals. look how you can make things better for this year in terms of how you approach your goals, because it will be likely be different. Number 2, get educated on alternate investing strategies, take advantage of the potentially upcoming opportunities in the market. Number 3, refinance your properties if you can, refinance your properties. Number 4, get ahead of your rents. If you want to keep your rents, approach it, be a little bit proactive, approach your good tenants early before they start looking. And number 5, do your best to establish that human connection. That's all. Any questions?
Yeah, well, Phil, I just wanted to say thank you very much. Certainly the theme is proactivity. And certainly you have been very proactive. I did, and perhaps there are some other questions, and we'll let people ask those in a moment. But shameless plug opportunity. You're working on a book, so let's have you share with us about that.
Yeah, no. Again, just to forward my mission of spreading investing, real estate literacy to others. I wrote a book. It's actually just a book on how to get started in real estate investing. So it's called, actually I have a copy of it here. It's called Real Estate Side Hustle for Investors. You can actually find it on Amazon. We're just doing a little bit of reformat right now, but otherwise, yeah, it's easy read, about 100 pages, about with 13 chapters, every chapter with an actionable step that you can take, whether or not you're a real estate investor right now, just something to move you along in the right direction to hopefully get you started in real estate investing. And hopefully it'll dispel a lot of the fears and anxieties associated with real estate investing that kind of comes with the space if you don't know it well enough, especially when you're just getting started.
Phil, does your book focus in on the Canadian market? And if so, what cities in particular?
It's definitely one of the Canadian market. I feel like there's a lot of resources out there that are very US focused. So I wanted to build
US focused.
Yeah, it's all Canadian. It's about Canadian.
It's all Canadian.
It's all 100% Canadian focused. And there's a bit of a bias towards Alberta. I'm not gonna lie. It's just because that's a market I'm familiar with and the market I can speak well about. But it is definitely about a Canadian market.
On the Alberta market, like Edmonton and Calgary.
Edmonton, yeah, most Edmonton and Calgary. I guess being the biggest markets here, yeah.
Yeah, I live in Edmonton.
So. Oh, perfect. Yeah, and I live in Calgary, so.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, but I'm from Edmonton, so I know about the area quite well.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thank you for the comments, Ron. And again, a great title and great topic for the book, Phil, is this. You're very successful in investing, but it is a side hustle because you are a pharmacist by trade. So
yes.
Is there one secret that you can share with us to how you're able to fit it all in?
It's not easy, but it's just really just time management, and we all have 168 hours in the week, right? And we work a third of it, we sleep a third of it. We've still got, even if we spend some time for eating and traveling, we still got about 40 hours every week that we can put towards a passion project or something that you feel passionate about. So, and real estate just became something that at first it was just more of a financial thing, really. But over time, I realized that it was very satisfying to show others and teach others just how to get into this market. And it's really more fun to have your friends and family along for the ride too. It is a lonely road. And so the more people I can get on board with the whole idea, I think the more fun the journey becomes. So that's why I started the podcast and the website, just to get more people on board and hopefully to spread that message.
That's great. If you could just hold the book up one more time.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you to Jennifer, our marketing manager. She's put the how to buy the book up in the chat. And also, Phil, again, what's the name of your podcast?
It is, if you search Commonwealth Home Ownership in any of your favorite podcast apps, it should show up. So Commonwealth Home Ownership.
Okay.
Name.